It's finished 1-1 between Liverpool and Arsenal. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in the quality of that game. Have we really learned anything about either side? I thought the game was going to be a massive opportunity for both sides to have that chance to prove the doubters wrong. In Arsenal's case, their horrible record at Anfield, was it an opportunity to break through the lines, especially of that Liverpool midfield, create chances and put pressure on Liverpool? And for Liverpool, I think, draws against Man City, drop points against Spurs, obviously in controversial circumstances, weren't able to beat Manchester United. So I thought in this game, I thought it was perfectly set up, especially how they played midweek to play against Arsenal and put a few goals past them. So I think both sides had this narrative ready to go to prove to Man City, to prove to the other sides in the league, especially with Aston Villa dropping points, especially with Man City in Saudi Arabia, that they will be on a come down, energetically speaking, after travelling and playing extra games in the Club World Cup. Both sides have missed an opportunity to plant a flag in the Premier League title race. I'm disappointed. I know it's exciting as a neutral. I know it is. And people sag me off on Twitter for saying that this isn't the most high quality game I've ever seen. I think it was quite an average quality game. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And obviously subscribe if you haven't already. This is just an overview of the game and an overview of where I think the Premier League title race will go. So obviously make sure you subscribe and watch to the end, because I think I'll talk about the Premier League title race at the end of the video. But we'll talk about the key moments in the game to start off with. Arsenal go 1-0 up. It's a beautiful set piece. They use their physical qualities. They use their set piece qualities, certainly there, in terms of how they can whip balls into the box. Zinchenko, Odegaard have got good deliveries on them. And obviously Gabriel, Saliba are good in the air. Declan Rice, good in the air. We've seen it all season. So Arsenal score a great goal. I have to sit here and say, ultimately I'm here to document football on this channel and talk about football in my own way, and maybe I'll go on about VAR too much, but if the linesman doesn't call that for offside, and it's not a clear and obvious error, just let the goal stand, man. This is it might be Gabriel's biggest goal in his career, scoring an early goal at Anfield to shut up Liverpool fans. And it's taken away from him for no reason. It was a great header. It killed the crowd. It killed Alisson. It made him stand there completely flat-footed. It was a beautiful cross-in, beautiful header. And I just think the momentum and the energy of the goal was completely killed for no justifiable reason. And that's just my take. Arsenal didn't manage the game very well. I don't think they managed it at any point. It never felt like Arsenal dominated the game after going 1-0 up. It never felt that they planted their flag to say, we're at Anfield, we're 1-0 up, we're going to make it 2 and shut up shop. We're going to do a Mourinho. We're going to do a Ferguson. We're going to do an Arsene Wenger in the 98 season when that was a very stingy defence, Tony Adams and all that. Where was that? Where was that? Because it felt, look, obviously Liverpool, we'll talk about Liverpool in a minute, of course, and the beautiful Salah goal. But where was that defensive ruggedness? It never felt like a 1-0 lead for Arsenal was ever enough. It never felt like an advantage. It never felt like Arsenal took the game onto a different level after scoring early. In a title decider, it should have felt momentous that Arsenal scored so early in the game. And there was just something about their application today. And obviously it has to go down to Liverpool as well. It's a hard place to go. I'm not sitting here saying it's easy to play against Liverpool. And again, we will talk about Liverpool in this video because Liverpool had quality in the game as well. But Arsenal, I really would criticise Odegaard in this game. I really would criticise Kai Havertz for not getting their foot on the ball, not being good enough in the tackle, not being good enough in keeping possession. It should have been even just 1-0 at half-time to Arsenal. That's how I think they should have managed the game. They got more than enough quality. When I sit here and I say these things about Arsenal or Liverpool, whoever's top of the league, I'm saying it because they're top of the hardest division in European football, the richest league in the world. Arsenal and Liverpool are top. Man City are nowhere near it. So what can I say, apparently? So how can Arsenal, who are one of the best sides in the league, nearly won the league last season, came second, can't show more quality on the ball, kept losing it. And so did Liverpool as well. And it's that kind of end-to-end nature of the game that I think plays into Liverpool's hands for a large part of the game. They obviously didn't kill off the game 2-1 with that Trent chance which hits the crossbar. But they did get back in the game with a beautiful goal. It's one of them in football where sometimes the goal itself is amazing. Beautiful finish. Beautiful quality from Mohamed Salah to hit it that hard near post is really hard. It's a really hard skill to do. But what's Zinchenko doing? I don't know how you win a league with Zinchenko at left back. I don't know how City did it. City got 98 points with Zinchenko at left back. And that must be down to the incredible midfield of David Silva, De Bruyne, Fernandinho ahead of him, and Vincent Kompany and Laporte. Because he is a liability. And I don't think he offers enough in midfield. They've signed... he came in because they didn't quite know what they were doing with Partey, with Xhaka. This midfield got partially discovered last season, and Zinchenko was a part of that, popping into midfield, creating those underlaps in midfield, creating a number overload in terms of the amount of people in midfield to keep the ball, keep possession, and keep Arsenal in a high-pressure situation. We all know it. Man City do it. Bayern Munich do it. All these sides do it. I think it's redundant now with how Zinchenko plays, because I think he offers so little defensively. I don't think he's worth it. And then he lost the ball a couple of times against Liverpool, where you feel Liverpool were able to exploit Zinchenko. There are always weaknesses in every great side. You could argue someone like Phil Neville at Man United was weak compared to the other players around him. But you never felt that Phil Neville, as an example, when he was playing left back, or Sylvester or Gabriel Heinz, some of these random defenders I'm kind of throwing out there, they never felt exploitable. Zinchenko feels exploitable. He feels like a mark. He feels like a fish in poker. I feel like you could beat Zinchenko defensively. I think I could just cut it in on my left foot and he'd let me go. That's how bad the defending was for that Salah goal. It was really, really poor. So Salah gets back in the game. It's a beautiful finish. And then I have to criticise Liverpool. I have to be balanced and say that Liverpool get back in the game. Everything's going their way. And it felt for a large swathe of the game, if not from that moment to the end of the game, basically, that Liverpool just every time they get the ball, Szoboszlai, Endo, they're always trying that ball over the top. Endo did it well a couple of times. Szoboszlai did it well a couple of times. Don't get me wrong. But Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, when he came on, absolutely, even Ryan Gravenberch, no one's controlling the game to a world-class level. And I don't see how Arsenal or Liverpool can win the Premier League without world-class midfielders dictating play. And I don't think either of them have got it. Rice is world-class as a holding midfielder. I think I like McAllister a lot. Thiago Alcantara is someone that obviously is mentioned with Liverpool, might be leaving in January, and obviously he's injured. You can't build any kind of idea around Thiago, but he's the one player that would have gotten this ball against Arsenal and really had a go. Really kept the ball. That was Liverpool's big issue for me. It felt that they wanted 15 chances to score a goal. I think they should have... Someone pull them aside and say, lads, I'd rather you have 3 chances for the rest of the game, but they're 3 premium chances where you've worked the ball left to right, you've kept the ball for 4, 5, 6 minutes, and you create an overload where you're just tapping the ball into the back of the net. Look at the great Man City sides that have won the league for the last 5 out of 6 years. Look at the great Liverpool side that won the league with a huge amount of points, 99 points. They did it playing those kind of balls across. It never felt like it was on for Liverpool. It never felt like that second goal was coming. Even when they were through on goal with a 4v1 overload, the big chance to make it 2-1, it never felt that victory was there for Liverpool to grab. The final ball was always sloppy. The finish was always sloppy. The ball to Trent should be a lot better from Salah. It was bobbling. The finish from Trent should be assured. It should be passed into the net. If not, fake shot and given back to someone else. These footballers are more than good enough. They don't have to take that chance. If Trent is worried about the angle of the finish because he can't open his body up, I do think that he should have done better and even flicked it back to someone else, because that's an easy tap in. So that's just my take on the matter. I think both sides struggled to dictate the game, struggled to dictate the midfield, lost possession far too often. How many times are you going to see a game? Yes, it's entertaining for the average fan at home, but if we're talking about these two sides trying to win the Premier League title, you can't even someone as good as Salah or Diaz guilty of this, Núñez guilty of this. Just running with the ball and then losing it. And running with the ball and losing it. Doing it over and over again. Modern football, modern Premier League title wins are not built on that. They're built on assured possession of the ball, maintaining pressure, and dictating play. And one of these sides are going to have to learn how to do that in big games for the remainder of the season, or else I think City will just come back and win the league, because I think they'll just say, these lot aren't good enough to win the Premier League.
I might be wrong. I'm not trying to slag anyone off or banter anyone. It was a very entertaining game. I've said on this channel for many, many months now, I like a lot about what Arsenal do. I like a lot about what Liverpool do in these other games when they're not playing each other. They meet at Anfield. I just feel a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I don't really care. I don't have a vested interest, but this is meant to be a game that could decide the Premier League title. These points matter. It's getting close to the business end of the season. And I just think there's something limited about this performance from both sides. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you very, very soon.